What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Matty Fish. I know I was kind of talking about water clarity the other day. Let's go a little bit more in depth with that in this video. As you can see, super clear. Sorry, there's a couple spots on the glass, my fault. But you know, I'm looking clear through this tank, across the room, all the way through the other tank. So just to give you an idea of how clear this water is. So let's talk a little bit about what I do to maintain this water so clear first. And this one, I just got the overhead lighting on right now, and you see how clear this tank is too. I can pop the other light on for you, a little shimmer, but still nice and very clear. Looks like everybody's wide awake in this tank, even though it's still morning. But everybody living their best life, as you can see. Tetrastigma's starting to get some color. Anyways, we're getting off topic. So, let's talk about a few things here. Water changes first off. This is going to be a highly debatable topic. But you see this water. See how happy, how healthy the fish are. It's now been about 2 weeks since I last did my water change, and one thing that I do pay attention a lot to is my water parameters. So I have this API Freshwater Master Test Kit. No, this is not a promotion, but this is a really good kit for you to use. So obviously there's several different tests in here. You get your chart right here. Mostly what I test, very rarely do I test my pH. Maybe once a month or so, not gonna lie. But my pH is very stable because my tanks are established. Now, the first couple months that I had these tanks set up, yeah, I tested my pH like every 3 days, just like I do with my ammonia, my nitrates, and my nitrites. Those are the ones I test more often than anything else. And usually it's just ammonia and nitrate every 3 days. After every water change, I will do a full spectrum test. Okay, so generally right now, I'm doing a water change once every 2 to 2.5 weeks. And when I do a water change, I'm only doing, let's see, on this one, I'm going down to, you see the power head bottom in there, so that's probably about 8 inches down in the tank, the bottom of that. I go down to about a half inch below that. This is a 140 gallon cube, so, I mean, you can see, that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm only doing probably 35 or so gallons a water change. You don't need to do massive water changes as long as you don't overfeed, you use the right foods, and you keep an eye on all your water parameters. And in all honesty, like, yes, this is an African cichlid tank. Yes, they get fed a lot. But after 2 weeks, usually my nitrates, somewhere between 10 and 20 parts per million. Maybe even less sometimes. Sometimes down here. It just depends on if it's a heavy feed week or what was going on in the tank. But water parameters are very stable in these tanks, and honestly it's because I let nature run its course. Less is more. I mean, yes, I have some chemicals here, but I don't use them as often as most people are going to tell you to, and I don't live and die by them. Honestly, the only reason I do use some of these chemicals is because I'm keeping African cichlids. And as we all know, they're a little bit more sensitive than a lot of the tropical fish that are in the hobby. So let's get into this real quick. So prime, I'm only using that after water changes. Or if I do a top off. Because I will say, obviously this is a big open system. And obviously under my 112, I have the sump over here. So I do have evap. Got to top this guy off a couple gallons every 4 or 5 days, and this guy every 4 or 5 days. a couple gallons of evap from the top here. So when I do water changes, we'll use my prime and I'll use my stability once a month. I'm using this pristine, which is another form of biobacteria, just helps supplement. And then I'm also using just regular old large format sea salt for my aquarium salts. Works well. It's cheaper than getting buffers and things like that, but I find that it does the job just the same. Okay, so another important fact though, also very rarely, but sometimes I will use this API stress coat. It works, it's well. I tend to like the prime better, and stress coat to me seems to make the water cloudy for a little bit. But anyways, it also comes down to foods. Using high quality foods, if you're using pellets, will drastically improve your water quality when feeding pellets. I like these omega-1 cichlid pellets, and I like these Fluval bug bites. I also use some New Life Spectrum. I'm just out of it right now, so I don't have it here. I do also feed a lot of frozen foods like krill, brine shrimp, spirulina, Mice's shrimp. You know, like my fish get a really wide diet. They also get peas and garlic too. But, you know, I keep them on a pretty tight feeding schedule. I feed 6 days a week, 2 times a day, and generally on Sundays it's a rest day. So, you know, just doing these things like that really help keep this water super clean. Now, another important thing, you see wave maker in this tank. This wave maker is 1,400 gallons an hour, so it really pushes everything around. It's set up so it comes up and it pushes this water here down the front wall, and it moves everything around this tank, and it comes right back. So I have good flow. I don't ever have any detritus or anything really sitting on the surface of this substrate, so it really helps my filtration out, and of course the fish love the flow and everything as well. Under this tank, it's going to be a little hard to show you, but I'm going to see if I can anyways. I got an FX6 down here, and that's my only filter on this tank currently. Now on the 112, show you that filtration. Also real quick, you see pothos really helps with your nitrates. Just make sure you keep it where it's not fully in the water. It will start to die. You see the ones that have kind of fallen, they die a little bit. But anyways, on the 112 here, there are 2 types of filtration. Do I need it? Probably not, but again, overfiltration, right? So FX6 here, really I could probably do a FX4 on that tank easily, but you know, I like overfiltration. That's a real good key to keeping your water nice and clear, because I'll tell you, I don't run carbon. This is not carbon-based clarity here, okay? So we talked about the sump in this tank real fast. Also, you see I still have this one hob up here. Not really necessary, but I use it for additional polishing purposes. So let's talk about this sump. You see a common theme here. There's some pothos again. There's also fern back here, lots of bio balls, things like that. Anyways, so in this sump, I have fine filter floss. There's a tray for it to go through. Here's a lot of biomedia. There's more biohomes over here. And for anybody thinking that's carbon, it's not. There are 2 different bags of Purigen. One's just older than the other. So yes, I do use Purigen, but that's it. No carbon in these tanks. But that's the filtration on this system. And as you can see, it does a really fine job. If you'd like me to go in depth more about filtration setup and expand a little bit on certain points of topic that I covered in this video, like, comment, subscribe, share below, let me know. And in the meantime, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.